Nintendo remake the 2D era of Kirby games. So if you don't know, or if you're too young, or if you're Gen Alpha, or basically if you didn't, basically Kirby and Amazing Mirror. Should Kirby and Amazing Mirror and the older 2D Kirby games be remade in either 3D or 2D HD as well here. So Nintendo does sometimes give the games the 3D, the remake treatment, Thousand Year Door, obviously. But Kirby games typically do get remakes every once in a while. It's kind of like how Pokemon games get remade every once in a while. The last Kirby game to be remade was Kirby Return to Dreamland, which I think was a much-deserved remake, especially considering those who missed out on the Wii version get to play the version on the Switch, obviously as well. Yeah, but I think a Kirby and the Amazing Mirror remake, how could they tackle it? First, I think they should add a classic mode for those who like the sprite version, who like the sprites and the original designs of the game as well here. I think that will be an easy one. And also, play the remake version. Okay, the remake version will add in all new visuals. I think comparable to Kirby Return to Dreamland. Okay, that will be the comparable graphics to the game. Okay, you can have an HD, remake version as well. But you can also have the original sprite version for those who do like the original version. Kind of like how they did with the Halo collection, where you can play in the original graphics, or you can play with the remade graphics, obviously, as well here. I think another game that could easily be remade, and, I think this would be a much harder one, is Kirby Squeak Squad. So Kirby Squeak Squad is the infamous Kirby game where Kirby basically, basically starts a whole battle war for cake, basically. But I do think that this game deserves to get a remake 100%, just like Kirby and Amazing Mirror. And they can handle it very similar how I said they could handle Kirby and Amazing Mirror. Is basically they can, but the only problem is that this is a game that is specifically designed for the DS. Okay, the problem with remaking DS games is a lot of DS games are specifically designed for the DS. Obviously, of course, the 2D games could be given, more HD-esque graphics, obviously, as well. But the problem is, this game is specifically made for it as well. I think Wii U could have made sense because you could have had the gamepad, hold the items and stuff. And it'll be a very, very tough nut crack when it comes to if they do port DS games to the Switch eventually with the Nintendo Switch Online, with the Switch 2, obviously. But when it comes to Kirby, Squeak Squad, I do think that a remake of the game is very doable. It's just how will they handle the bottom screen gimmick that they had in the game as well. I think the next game they're going to remake is Kirby Planet Robot. That was all the leaks and rumors are saying. Honestly, for those who have never played the game before, it'll be an easy opportunity to play the game before. And also another game I think could get a remake afterwards is Kirby, Return to Dream. I will get that one. But Kirby Triple Deluxe, obviously. I think those are the next two games in line. But I think afterwards, unless they want to remake, the Switch era again, I think remaking some of the older Kirby games, especially considering that many younger people have most likely missed out on the DS and Game Boy Advance era of Kirby games, remaking those games, reintroducing those games to newer audiences with a more polished look, I think will make the games, honestly, more memorable. I think the last game in the DS era that should get a remake, and of course added to this, is Kirby Superstar Ultra. So Kirby Superstar Ultra, I think, is one of the best Kirby games in the DS. Of course, there's like 3 or 4 of them, but again, we're not mentioning Canvas Curse, which is pretty funny, but that game also exists as well. But but Kirby with Superstar Ultra is actually one of the better selling Kirby games, and I would like to see it remade again and like absolute HD graphics, like they did with, and especially the cutscenes in HD. Imagine how great they would look. Imagine them with the same power as they did with Kirby and the Forgotten Lands cutscenes. Okay, just imagine how great those would look. And you could definitely remake all 3 of these games. And also check out Kirby Nightbound Dreamland as well. That was also made for the Game Boy Advance as well. I think all 4 of those games will eventually be remade. But I think Nintendo will only remake one Kirby game at a time. And I think they're going to focus on the 3DS era of Kirby games, which what will be done. So there are two major Kirby 3DS games. First one was Planet Robot. Again, it was released in the end of the 3DS lifespan. Again, another game of a bottom screen gimmick. If that game is able to be remade, it's gonna be able to be remade for the Switch. Then yeah, Kirby Screen Squad can be remade. If that Kirby Planet Robot has a bottom screens gimmick, much like um but I think maybe Nintendo should make Color Splash. I know people really don't like that game, but honestly, I never played that game. Again, I didn't really like the Wii U too much. But a lot of people have said that Paper Mario Color Splash is actually pretty underrated, underappreciated. And I think Nintendo will definitely give that one another go as well. But, Kirby Planet Robot, I think they're saying that game is coming out this year for the Switch 2 and Switch 1, obviously, as well. And obviously that will be very big for Nintendo. Obviously here for the Kirby franchise because again Kirby remakes don't really sell too well compared to like new Kirby games obviously as well. But it is pretty nice to have those Kirby remakes for people who have never played those games before obviously as well. But I think the 3DS, the Game Boy Advance one, and the DS games would definitely sell. I think way better than Kirby Planet Robot and Triple Deluxe would because of how much more in the past those games seem to be than the 3DS games. But hey, I think everybody will be happy to have an HD version of Kirby Planet Robot as well, and of course Kirby Triple Deluxe, which I do think is one of the weaker Kirby games as well. Not fully say that Triple Deluxe, but compared to Planet Robot, Triple Deluxe is kind of like I still think Kirby Triple Deluxe is better than Star Allies 100%, but Kirby Triple Deluxe, I think, was kind of one of the more forgettable Kirby games. And of course, there was one last Kirby game. The often more forgotten about Kirby 64. Yeah, imagine this game with HD gorgeous visuals. Okay, like I've never played the actual original Kirby 64 because again, I grew up in the 90s. But imagine this game and I do think if they really want to, they could actually open this game up and make an actual 3D game like Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Like they can easily make it like Kirby and the Forgotten Land, where it's like open levels like Kirby and the Forgotten Land. And this game I think definitely deserves a remake. And of course they probably has removed the 64 be called Kirby and the Crystal Shards as well. And it'll just be a full blown remake made like Forgotten Land. Okay, actual 3D-esque graphics. You can go up to risky worlds and actually attack them. Have the combined abilities and stuff as well here, as well. And basically make a Forgotten Land Kirby 64 version. Yeah, that actually be a pretty interesting idea. So I think Kirby, when it comes to remakes, there's tons of more games you can remake, obviously. It can even go back. The original Kirby trilogy could be remade into one package. And so many more. There's tons of Kirby spin-offs. There's Kirby Mass Attack as well, which as well here. And first out with that game a little more, but again, you still have that Ice Dragon fight. Yeah, probably the ugliest boss in all of Kirby. This ugly thing, yeah, this is probably the ugliest boss in any Kirby game. Yeah, this is probably the worst boss in any Kirby game as well. It just looks so ugly and so jarring. What but that's about this video here. Goodbye.